So earlier in the video you would have seen that I was diagnosing the sound where it was coming from. It was coming from this place, from the suspension. So I was using a dry lube to spray each and every part, and I found it was the U-joint. So you can clearly see the U-joint rubbers are broken there, and even in the bottom you can see the U-joints clearly. It's showing the rubber is broken there. So you can see the wheels are up in air, and if you want to check if your ball joints are good or not, you have to keep something under your wheel once your wheels is up in the air. In my case, I'm using a shovel underneath the tire and trying to move it up and down, and you can see there is no movement in the ball joint. So in my case, I know my U joint needs replacement. So let's see how the hub is doing. Left to right, it's not that bad, but you can see the wheel is not rotating so freely. There could be two reasons. It could be the hub, and it could be the disc pad. So these are the parts I'm going to change in my Jeep XJ. So I'm going to change the hub, rotor, U-joints for my axle, and brake pads, dust cover, axle dust cover because it was not there previously. So the brand I'm going with is, the hub is Timken 513084. It's a match for 99 Jeep Cherokee. I have a separate video for what hub. There are two types hubs for 99 Jeep Cherokee, so I have a separate video for that. So this is the one I chose, and this one Timken's is made in Korea. So for information if you wanted that. And the rotor is AC Delco, and the part number is 18A409A. That's the rotor I'm going with. And the brake pads, these are also AC Delco. There is no part number on this, but if you Google brake pads for Jeep XJ, it will show up in Amazon. So most of the parts I got it from Amazon. And the hub, the U-joint, I'm going with the Spicer. Part number is 5-760X, and I'm going with the non-greasable U-joint because it is stronger. And obviously these U-joints lasted for last 20 years. I believe it should stay for a while, so it doesn't matter, just grease it very mildly, then you can put it inside. And the dust cover again from Amazon, random seller. And 33442 is the axle dust cover, and it says it doesn't match Jeep XJ from Amazon, but I tried it out. It is a perfect match. It's a perfect match for the axle, so that should be good. Few other tools you need to make this work is uh, at least more than 175 pound capacity torque wrench. I rented this from O'Reilly's. And a brake pad, a brake piston pusher. So this is like $10. You can buy one. And a 10 mm socket, regular socket, and a 13 mm 12-point socket, and a 36 mm regular socket, heavy duty, because you need to remove the axle with this. So the wheels are removed. I put the wheels always under the transmission directly, and I choke the back wheel with the rubber choker. And the first step is to remove the caliper, and the caliper has 10 mm bolts in it. So just two bolts, we need to remove the bolts. There we go. Okay, have a bungee cord like this. So once you remove this, you can support this somewhere, so you don't need to put stress on this tube. If you put stress, this is going to expand or break. Remove and do it also. Since the brake pads are locked, it's maybe a little tighter, so just pull it from inner side and use the bungee cord. Okay, so let's put the screwdriver inside here and let's remove the cotter pin first. Okay, the cotter pin is out. Looks like the previous owner would have recently taken this. So you take this false nut, it's like a cover, then there is a tension washer or spring washer, then you need a 36 mm nut for this. So I rented the 36 mm nut from O'Reilly's, so I'm going to use that. Okay, the other side to remove the axle nut was hard with the breaker bar, but my 18 volt DeWalt with 20 volt battery removed it very quickly. So I'm going to see whether that was a fluke or really this one works. Holy crap! Not so easily. So what I'm thinking is it needs the impact, not the torque. So impact works great removing the axle nut. This was useless for anything when I was using 18 volt battery, but this is great now with 20 volt battery. So once the nut is out, so take like a magnetic stick and you have to remove the washer. So there is a thick washer. The next thing is to remove the 3 nuts which is holding the hub, which should be here. So 1, 2, and the third one is on this side. There, I already soaked that in PP Blaster, so you have to clean that before getting it out. So you see this rust over here. What it's going to make is this rust moves inside the thread, then you will have trouble removing it. So remove the rust with the brush down side, all the sides, then you can go ahead and remove that. This is the 13 mm 12 point socket. So this is exactly this would be, if you don't remove the tie rod, it's going to be a little harder, so you will have very less space to remove it, so be ready for that. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to completely remove this bolt. You can keep one bolt inside and keep the socket, or you can use a old socket and hammer it over here. So this would push the hub outside, because it is going to be completely sealed. If you didn't remove it for a very long time, it's going to be sealed. So I'll hammer here. So I have like a air tool here, so it's easy for me, so I'll just use the air tool. Yeah, I think it did crack. Yeah, definitely it did crack. Okay, so that is good. So now let's go ahead and remove the bolt and try to hammer it very lightly to get this out. So that's it. So even though you don't have a air hammer, you can just hammer it with the bolt as I did with the air hammer. Then this should free out. Do you see that? Okay, I was able to put the dust cap. Now let's take the gear oil and apply it in the spans. just from the shiny place to the spines. Okay, then straighten your axle. Keep one of your finger back here because you do not want to touch at the bottom. You do not want to carry the dust, so keep the finger half the way of your circle inside and push it inside, and once you reach the end, yeah, you can feel that the spines are seated, so that's where you need to end. I'll take the anti-seize. The contact surface of the hub is just like half an inch or 1 inch, so you don't need to put all the way inside. And this is again a contact surface, so I'm going to put this. Okay, let's put this bolt from behind. So you can see these 3 holes, that's where the bolt goes. The dust cover goes this way. You can see the cut actually gives space for this one to sit, so you cannot put right side on the left side and left side on the right side, even though it mostly looks similar, but it doesn't work that way. Align to the bolt and push this inside. Okay. Okay, so this is the first bolt, and here is the second bolt, and the third bolt is on the other side. So I set my torque range for 75 foot-pound. So there we go, 75 foot-pound. You should hear that sound. So now it is set to 75 foot-pound. Okay, so the first is put the flat washer. So the flat washer has sides. So one side you can see it is flat, and other side it will be looking little beveled. So the flat side has to go inside. Okay, then same for the nut. You can see one side would be flat and other side would be beveled, so the flat side has to go inside. Okay, go ahead and place your brake rotor now. Okay, so the washer and the net is inside, so let's go ahead and torque it to 175 foot-pound. So now it's you need to put this spring washer, and this is the cap, net cap. Put the net cap. You can see that spring washer is giving some pressure on it, and take a new cotter pin and put the cotter pin inside. And do not use the old cotter pin. You can get these cotter pins from Harbor Freighten for just for $5, 555 piece of cotter pins. So just get the new one. I just matched the same size as the old one, and I'm using that. And bend one side, and ideally you have to cut this one. That's it. Side is a butterfly clip. Align these pins to these holes and pull the clip back side and push it inside. and it should go and lock. Now make the bottom pads to sit first in the groove, then insert it and check that pin is out, the rubber boot is out. Both the clips are sitting at the bottom. Once you get that, then only it will align with your bolts inside. So once you get the bolt inside, let's go ahead and tighten that bolt. Already set to 12 foot-pound. That's it. That's all. That is 12 foot-pound. Moment of truth. Let's see. Previously when I spin, it doesn't spin freely. Let's see now. It's great. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, please hit like, and if you like to see more contents like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll keep posting.